Hey everybody, this is the Mud Guy RC, and I'm the Mud Guy. And I want to welcome you to part 3 of my Project Aries series, which involves my Axial Wraith kit build. It hasn't really been a kit build in a long time. I haven't even looked at the instructions in a few weeks. More custom than anything, but I am making some progress and I want to share what I did with you. First up, as you can see, I got the body panels finished. I made the sides and the top out of aluminum, and the hood is styrene from Dinky RC. The reason I went with a different hood was so I didn't have to use the Lexan hood. I could use the same paint all around. I want to give a special thank you to Harley Designs Inc. Not just for the DMG Stiffy kit in the back, but for his 2 video series, the Hit and Run build and his Poison Spider budget build. I've been following them, soaking them up, and I've used several tips from them on how to make the side panels. Basically, I traced the Lexan pieces I had, made a paper pattern out of graph paper, and then transferred that over to aluminum. The top was a little bit tricky for me because I couldn't use my Lexan piece as a model. I pretty much had to measure everything out. The Stiffy kit shifts those holes a little bit, so I kind of had to wing this one a little bit. But yeah, his Hit and Run build, he uses a similar Stiffy kit in the back, and it shows you how to make these side panels. So I borrowed some tips from that, on tips from, on how to make a bomb-proof transmission and some waterproofing tips. So thank you once again, Harley Designs Inc. So I'll get into a little bit of what I did here. First of all, I got tires and RC. These are RC 4-wheel drive Hitman 2.2 wheels, beadlock wheels. I got them. I don't know if they're really in stock anymore, but I found these on eBay. I think they look pretty cool. Mounted to the stock Ripsaw tires with Crawler Innovations foam. Now, the reason I went with Crawler Innovations foams is because these are closed-celled foams and they won't absorb any water. I don't really plan on taking this thing, into deep water, but I know it's going to get wet. I'm going to drive through some creeks and it's going to get muddy. So I like the idea that the closed-cell foam. I used the Deuces Wild foams. When I read the description, it said medium to high speed, light rock work, and I was thinking that was perfect for trails. So that's my tire and wheel setup. Under the hood here, as you can see here, this hood doesn't lay completely flat. Basically what's going to happen is I'm not going to get the low ride height that I want with this setup. I'm going to have to change this around to get this hood to lay flat. I'm not going to cut holes in the hood. I just don't want that look. So I'm not going to quite get, the low ride height that I want, but I can still mess around with the shocks. And I think inevitably when I replace these shocks, I'm just going to get shorter shocks and bring this down a little bit. But I did make an aluminum box here, same thing, drew up a pattern. I had to cut a little hole here so I can get a wrench in to mess with my slipper clutch, and just kind of finagle things around. This battery pack, someday I think I might want to get something smaller because this just barely fits. It's wedged in there pretty good, and I got this little strap here to kind of hold everything down. I don't think it's going anywhere. So for now, that's what I'm going to use. It's a 5,000 milliamp pack 3 cell from Traxxas. I had to switch out the, can't see this here, I had to switch out the plug for a Dean's plug. So I got that done. Have the hood attached with Velcro. I did a little hinge mod here so I can just kind of flip this up to work on the car. I have the receiver connected to the radio. That's ready to go. I lined up my servo, so we're done with that part. And I did solder up my ESC, but I'm changing my mind about things. I originally wanted to have this inside the car in the passenger side, but I think now I want to put this in the back, and then that way I can still have a passenger chair in here, maybe put another character or whatever there, a figure, and have the ESC out the back. I don't know, it's just one of those things. After dealing with this kit for so long, I think this is a good spot for that. The wires can go straight in the back, be mostly hidden, and that way I can have easy access to my hot wire port without kind of jimmying around in here. So definitely have to do that yet. One thing I kind of screwed up on is I installed the steering wheel, the mount backwards, and then when I made my battery box, I trimmed off the wrong end, and so this steering wheel won't fit on here. What I did was I just cut apart a little bit of a pen here, and I'm going to kind of glue this all together once I get my figure in there, and that will be my my fix to that problem. So yeah, if you're building this kit, pay attention to what direction you mount your steering wheel in. So other than that, it is coming along. I programmed my ESC. I still don't have my motor yet, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about that. You know, I want to get this thing done, but I do like the motor that I ordered, so I don't know how long I'm willing to wait for that. The transmission here, let me talk a little bit about the transmission. What I tried to do here was mimic the super shafty bomb-proof transmission as much as I could. I did things a little bit different. I had the bearings ahead of time because I have the complete set of Boca in here. So what I did was, instead of buying a complete transmission from Super Shafty, I just bought the rest of the components I needed, minus the solid one-piece bottom gear here with the out drives. This is I'm using the stock out drives here, mounted to a set of hot racing steel gears. I have the beefy top shaft from Super Shafty and this motor plate, which is awesome. And what the beefy top shaft does is it gives you the ability to use a slash two-wheel drive Gen 3 Robinson Racing slipper clutch. So that's kind of cool. Everything went together perfectly. I have no slop in the in this slipper clutch whatsoever. So yeah, basically you can go to Super Shafty's website and order a complete transmission. But I did it. I saved a couple bucks by piecing it together, just because I had some of the things. The idler pin, the Boca bearings, that kind of stuff. And I am going with. I got rid of the. I removed the stock drive shafts here, and I went with MIP. I got a good deal, and the best deal I found was actually a Tower. They had them. I think it was $40, and then with a coupon I got them down to like 30 bucks. So MIP drive shafts. I don't remember the exact cost. That way I have. Everything from the motor to the tires is going to be metal, and I feel like that's going to be a much more sturdy setup. Now, I haven't even driven this thing yet. Usually I upgrade after I break, but in this case, it's I just wanted to kind of have everything just be solid the whole way through. First time I really take this out, I plan on going hiking, so I don't want any problems to. Now things come up, but for the most part, I just want to have a nice little solid drive my first time out. So anyway, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. With the build. Hopefully the next video is the last video. I'm dying to drive it. All the trails are frozen over right now. I don't even have a clear street, so I don't really know when I can drive it anyway, but I want to get this thing done. And so look forward to part 4. That should be our last part in the series. This is part 3. And I'll go over things a little bit better too in part 4. We give a nice overview of what the entire build consists of. So stay tuned to part 4.